All right, let's get this party started right now. How's everybody doing out there in this dire of times, this coronavirus times? How's what are you guys doing? I've been sitting inside all day working on a video, and kind of time got away from me, and I was like, oh my god, I have to do the live thing. Okay, let's do it. And then I realized that it's late already. It's dark. But well, here's the thing: no one is working, right? How many of you guys went to work today? Let's see that. Raise your hand. Uh, let's see. Hello from Oroville, California. Wait, Don Wood, is that you again? I keep reading your comments. What? How is that? From all the people that are here, well, there's only 134, I guess, the minute. Are the giveaway working better this way with the live streams? The first ones, it was never contacted by the winners. Yeah, it seems to work better this way, because if you don't contact me, then I'll just get away the next day. And, you know, I'm collecting a bunch of names of winners that are contacted me, and then, you know, we'll ship them out probably like next week or something. You know, hopefully I don't give up too many batteries, more batteries than I have. But as of right now, yeah, it hasn't been too many, so it's working. I think it's working. Working at home, says Dylan Witt. Brazil, nope. Tony LaRose, nope. Still fighting the good fight here in Ohio. Addiction Recovery Center. Oh, there you go. The addiction, yeah. People need recovery no matter what, I guess, right? Working from home, Kevin Eisnor swapped a PowerWall in Palm Springs today. Juan Jr. de Lara. Hey, Juan, I remember you, right? We met. You still doing the installations, the solar installations and stuff? That's pretty cool. I'm still working in South Texas, HVAC tech here, says Jay Viramontes. Been working every day. There you go. See, so there's some people, there's some responsible civilians doing their job still. Oh my god, hey, no barking. My son works at AAR in Santa Ana. He has to go to work. There you go. Nathan Clinic says it's Saturday here, so no, I didn't go to work. Texas, 40 a week still, says Brian Johnson. Working on honey-do lists. Yes, probably. It's going to be a lot of that for some of us. I mean, not so much me, I guess, because I got my work that I'm actually going to be different. I always stay at home, but now since I got a shot, I might be starting to go away from home now, which is weird, even though, you know. Joshua Tree, California, in the house. There you go, Star Mac. I just saw a video from that Mexican NASCAR race driver, Daniel Suarez, and he lives back east. I forget which state. You know, they all sound the same to me over there. Anyways, but he drove all the way to California to pick up a VW bus. He bought a VW bus, and it's one of those little truck ones or whatever. So he was at Joshua Tree earlier today, and he was driving just a few minutes ago. He was doing like a live stream and stuff, which is crazy. Are you making a solar roadway? No, I think they tried that, right? The solar roadway didn't quite pan out. Do you recommend a grid tie system or an off-grid solution for disaster planning? And how hard would it be to convert from grid tie to stand alone if needed? Well, I mean, it's off-grid. You want an off-grid for, you know, to be prepared, right? Now, how hard is it to convert from grid tie to standalone? It shouldn't be too hard. I think you just have to get a big beefy, you know, like a big inverter, you know, off-grid inverter, and then just backfeed into your grid tie inverters, and then that should wake them up, and then they should they should be able to balance that energy and should be able to charge your batteries off of your off-grid inverters, a battery charger, or on a separate charger or whatever. Now, having said that, I've never personally done that. I've seen other people do it, so I know it's possible. And in fact, some of the literature that I've read on some of the micro inverters or grid tie inverters specify that that's how you do it, and it's called it's called microgridding, right? Wait, no, microgridding. So you basically make your own little grid, your own tiny grid, and I think it would work. I never done it personally, right? I don't have a setup where I can test this and stuff, and so yeah, my hands are still tied behind my back in a lot of these things because I don't own my home and I don't have my own system that I can go crazy and build it all out and test it. So I'm testing as much as I can here and there, and I also have a lot of interests too, and I'm trying to toggle between a bunch of them. That's a problem with having interests, being interested in doing stuff, right? I think this year quite a bit of my time is going to be taken by these cars, right? These buses that I want to convert, and I want to put up a little business and stuff that can run on its own so that I can, then not have to worry about chasing money when it comes to these videos. The problem with these videos is that I still have to chase money. I'm like, do I make this video that I really want to make and everybody else asking me to do, or do I make this other video I don't really want to make but it makes me money? And a lot of the times it wins, right? Right now I'm kind of worried because what's going to happen in the future? Am I going to be able to, I just increase my expenses by, it's not a lot of money, but, another couple $1,000, $2,500 a month in this warehouse that I just signed, right? And, am I going to keep doing the same thing yeah, it's the future is kind of scary right now because you don't know, right? Like, people are not going to be spending money. I don't know. So anyways, hopefully towards the end of this year, I'll be able to have my own place and then answer all these questions better, right? By having gone and done all the things myself. Again, I don't really like to rely on others. I know that there are other YouTubers that will read a book and then all of a sudden they're experts. You're just like, yeah, this is how it is, and they argue with people and stuff, and you're like, okay. I heard a bunch of YouTubers this past month talking about batteries. A lot of them were talking about battery capacity and how Tesla is the leading. Maybe I mentioned this in another live stream, but I heard many YouTubers talking about how Tesla has been increasing the capacity of the chemistry, right? And I'm like, we haven't seen that, right? I mean, it's the same 3,400 milliamp hour cells that we saw in 2012. They're still in the cars, on the Model S and Model X's. On the Model 3s, yes, these are a slightly better density, and it's not much. I worked it all out. I saw the paper here the other day. Oh yeah, look at that. The 2170s are 247 watt hours per kilogram. And the 18650s are 233 watt hours per kilogram. So, I bet you if you do the math here, the 2170s is bigger, physically bigger, and it's got more mass than the 18650s. So it should have more. But look at this, 233 to 247. It's 30% bigger, and so the capacity, the watt hour per kilogram, well, no, right? The watt hour per kilogram should be the same. It's almost like nothing. It's less than 7%, I think, which should be like the yearly thing that everybody says that's what happens with the lithium. I don't know. So anyways, I don't like to talk a lot of the stuff that I hear others say, right? I like to test stuff, and only once I can get my hands and test it myself and prove it or whatever, then I feel more comfortable, kind of arguing with someone else or whatever. Okay, so there we go. when will you do the Delta giveaway? We're all waiting for that new review video. So I was working on that. I'm on minute 4 of that review. I think this was the hardest part of the review when it comes to the video. And then after that, I think it should go quicker after that. So yeah, I probably got like another 2 more days or something working on that video. And then I think I got everything else ready to go. So probably early next week, I'll be able to upload that one. But yeah, you should see my timeline. It's pretty complex. I'm like, how does it get so complex in the first four minutes? And the reason it does is because I want it to be interesting, right? And it's a lot of info that I have to pack into it. So I don't want it to be too long. I don't want it to be like a 25-minute video. I want to say somewhere around 10-15 minutes. But I still want to cover all the things that I foresee you guys asking and maybe criticizing me for not talking about it, for not whatever, you know. And I want to do that so that it can get a lot of views and I could be worth my time doing these things, you know. And also, usually you do one good review and then the doors open up for you to do like bigger reviews, to do other stuff, right? And so I want to keep my doors open when it comes to that. Again, I want to be diverse when it comes to the streams of money that I make and stuff, and so I don't want to shut any of those down. And I don't know if these reviews are gonna work out or whatever, because I can't really get paid by it with them, you know, because then it's not an unbiased review. But there are other ways that you can make you know, money by making a video that gets 1 million views, right? So that's what I'm going for. Make us a UFO so we can fly to Antarctica. What? I don't know. Okay, let's see. Are we still asking questions or am I just talking too much here? 210 today with us. Only 32 likes. Come on, guys. You gotta hit the like button so that this live stream gets shared by... well, there's no one working at YouTube, so the robots, the drones might do it. Where can I get 150 new Samsung 30Qs or Sony VTC6s for pretty cheap? And which do you suggest for an electric mountain board? I don't know about the Samsung 30Qs. I haven't seen them. There's a lot of fakes of those. So I don't know. But the VTC6s, you can get per case at evwest.com. They're selling those. Those are genuine VTC6s. But they're still around $3 or something. Yeah, I think about $3 each cell. So that's what you're gonna expect to pay for those, because those are premium cells. I was selling them in smaller batches, but then they started sending me commissions for the ones that I was buying myself, right? So then I'm like, oh, I can't make money selling these. I'd have to mark them up back to like $5 or whatever, and I don't want to have super expensive cells in my store, because I was actually wrapping them, right? So I was paying someone to sit there and wrap them and, you know, do the thing and then repackage them into smaller boxes and all stuff. So, you know, I was paying them and I was thinking like I can still make my commissions, you know, but then they start giving me the commissions. So I'm like, oh, I'm just doing this for free. Like, yeah, it's all cool and well, but I don't want to, you know, and it would take a lot of money, a lot of my money. Like every time I order a batch of them, it's like, oh, here goes 10 grand in 10 little boxes of batteries. And then I'd have to put that in the shelf, and then, you know, it would take however long to... So it wasn't working out for me. So I stopped doing that. Now, if you want them, you just have to buy like a box of 200, unfortunately. And it's about $3 a cell or something like that. But these are legit cells. They're still there. They're pretty cool. Adam KF says, want to get some Model 3 battery packs. Yes, right now is a good time. I would wait. I mean, if you can wait a little bit more, yeah, I would wait, because every week they're lower and lower. They're lowering the thing because everybody thinks that these, I mean, this is the best battery that exists right now, right? It's the pack design and the cooling design and the packaging all that stuff is the best, but no one can use them really because of just the way that they're arranged. Let's see. Wait, what is this question? Did you ever decide on whether to sell your PCB with holders pre-soldered? Would buy them for PowerWall DI parts? Yes. So pre-populate or populated boards, they're coming. It's just I'm waiting on the last shipment of them, and then I'm gonna make a video and then release them. Then I'm like almost there. I'm almost there. It's just that's also another big purchase, right? Because they cost more, right? Because I have to pay someone in China to do the work and stuff, and so yeah, it's like I gotta send for a batch of this one's is $7 grand, 10 grand for the other one, 3 grand for the the state of charge ones, and it just adds up, and you're like, oh my god, where's all my money? And then it takes a long time. You wait a month, 2 months, month and a half or something, then they come and sit there in your shelves, and I've had some of that product in the shelves right now for a while I work out the details on all the other ones, right? Because there's several. There's 3 different boards that we have to do, and they've saved me because when I ran out of the regular stuff, I've said like, oh, let's just surprise someone who thinks they're gonna get a bunch of boards and then have to solder them together and then send them pre-populated boards, right? For the most part, it's been great. There's been one guy who was expecting the things to be unpopulated so that he could put something else. He wasn't planning on populating them. And so when we send him populated boards, he was like, oh my God, this is not what I wanted. And I'm like, oh my God, see? This is what you get for trying to do something nice for someone. But yeah, I think we exchange it on or we send them more or whatever. So we fix that. But let's see here. A fun idea, let me see. Jailbreak says, Jay, wouldn't prismatic cells give you a better weight ratio over 18, 6, 15, 21, 700s? In theory, yes. In theory, they should, but yeah, for some reason, no one has done it. I think Tesla might actually be the first one to do it. Because the rumor is that Tesla is going to put prismatic cells on the Chinese Teslas, and the way they're gonna do it, if they end up doing it that way, yes, it's gonna be a much more dense pack. But the thing is that the chemistry that I think that the rumor is that they're gonna use lithium iron phosphate, which is crazy because that's a much less dense energy dense chemistry, right? Although it's creeping up. Like those ones that I have there, they're much better than the old ones that we used to use. But they're nowhere near NMC or whatever they're using, chemistry they're using right now. So yeah, I don't know why no one is doing it. I can't see a reason why they wouldn't, but yes, in theory, you should be able to get much more packaging density, right? You should be able to stuff more energy into a pack in the same space, and you're able to cool them too, because those, yeah, maybe it's the cooling issue. Maybe that's the problem. When you have a big chunky cell, then then there's too much. You can't really get to the insides of it so that you can cool it. So if you distribute a bunch of smaller cells, then you can keep them cool, and you have much more thermal control. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but you never know. Hello from Puerto Rico says, for Freddie Pierre? Yeah. Oh, for Freddie PR. There you go. You are doing a lot of giveaways. Why? Just because, you know, I figure that I'm hoarding too much batteries, too many batteries, and I don't need them. And I figure people probably need them. They probably have time right now. What's the best time to get rid of them and have someone else, you know, take advantage of them? Also, I want to clean up this place because this is not conducive to. I feel like I'm too cramped in here, and even though I got a new space over there, I also now putting some thought into not doing the same thing over there, cramping it up with a bunch of stuff. I want to try to keep it lean over there so that I can get in and work. Usually, I don't know. This sort of just takes my it takes my creativity away when you feel cramped, right? And so, yeah, it's just I have too many projects in here that are all halfway done, and I just come in this room and I'm like, I don't feel like working on any of them. So I want to shake things around, get rid of all the stuff that I don't need, and then hopefully, you know, reset, and then I should be able to become much more productive here in this next year. I mean, that's the plan, anyways. I don't know if it's gonna work. Let's see. Have you heard? No. What is this? What is the? Wait. What? Kevin says. What would be the best size pack to build for a homeless person who is living in a tent and wants power for a small AC unit? What inverter? Oh, an AC unit. I don't know how much power does an AC unit use. Like a little AC unit, I think it's quite a bit, right? I think you're probably gonna be looking at like 2, 3, 4 kilowatt hours. I think if you want to use that for any length of time, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I think there are some very efficient small AC units that are like DC. But you're probably, I mean, you know, if you're homeless, you're probably not gonna have access to. They're expensive because it's the new way to make an AC. So yeah, I mean, unless you have one of those, then if not, if you're using an old unit, then you're probably using something that is very inefficient, and therefore it's gonna require twice the battery to run a modern one or whatever. But yeah, I would say I probably would estimate that, you know, and then once you use it up, then you have this big heavy battery that is dead, and it needs 4, you know, I don't know, 3 to 5 kilowatt hours to charge. So then that means you'd have to have a charger and plug it in, or have some kind of solar thing, and it would take forever to. I mean, to put in 4 kilowatt hours of solar, you need, you know, I don't know, you need like at least 4 or 5 big panels or something. So yeah, I don't know if it scales great for someone on the street or someone that is, you know, living on tent. Actually, I'll be using, let's see, what? About how many 18650s will you need for 1 kilowatt hour? So 18650s right now average about 10 watt hours, because those are the 2600 milliamp hours ones, right? So you would need about 100 of them in the average. If you get some of the premium ones, then it's less. You're even down to like 80 cells. But if you get like the power tool ones at 2200, then yeah, you're gonna need more, like 150 of them or whatever. But you know, 100. Do I have one? Yeah. So 100 cells is a box like this, right? So yeah. So a box like this would be about a kilowatt hour on the average 18650. Let's see here. Actually, are you excited about graphene batteries and what they have to offer? Not really. I should be, but I don't. Like I said, I'm not. I'm tired of hearing that the next thing is gonna be here, and I'm like, okay, whatever, bring it. I don't believe anything until I see it, kind of thing, right? So, battery hookup should sponsor a battery giveaway. I'm just a few hours away from them, 6 hours, I think. Yeah. Have they? They sponsored a couple of builds a while ago, but yeah, no giveaways. I should hit them up and see if they would do it, so that we can get some more batteries. Can you even play the guitar? Probably not. It's been so long. I picked that thing up. I probably don't remember how to do it. Maybe they should flow non-conductive coolant directly between the cylindrical cells for max cooling. Yeah, they should. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Are you hiring people with the new warehouse? No, I don't. I don't want to have employees. That is a thing that I learned, and I'm trying to remember that I don't want employees. It's really expensive to have employees, and it's really expensive because then either you'd have to manage them, which I'm terrible at, and it takes a lot of time, and I'm like, this is a bad thing to spend my time doing, managing people, right? Or you have to pay someone to manage an employee. So now you'd have to have two people, one employee, but you need two people to have one employee. It doesn't scale well, right? I mean, I think it's not as bad as that, maybe. It's just I'm really bad at it. So, I figure if I can get things done without employees, then that will work. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe in the future I will have employees again, but for right now I'm like trying not to. I'm trying not to keep it small. I already went that route where I'm like, let's make this big, hire people to get the building, get the thing, and it was cool, it was fun and stuff, but it just wasn't for me. It just, what is Tesla doing during the shutdown? So it turns out they're kind of not wanting to shut down. I think they're going against the mandate from their county. But now I think Elon just said that he's up to making not respirators. What is it? I don't know. Some kind of like HVAC thing that the hospitals need, like the filters, like the things, right? And so I think the New York mayor is taking them up on it because they need some. And so I don't know, he might retool or he might change things and they might start making some of those so that they can stay busy. I think it's kind of hard to send Elon home, and be like, just go home and wait this out. I think he's gonna want to be doing something. You can't just be going 100 miles an hour for the last 20 years and then just expect to like, okay, I'm just gonna go home. So he's gonna want to try and do something. How much was the build for the 600 amp hour you did? And oh man, it's been a long time since I did that build, but I break it all down in that video, I think. Or I give you links right there so you can get to see the price. But yeah, I don't remember. Not even roughly how much that cost. It's been a while. Am I the only one so bored staying at home that I spend my evenings spamming the stream, wishing to win batteries? Have you thought about making a multi-cell battery charger discharger? No, not really. I don't know. I don't have what it takes, and it's a lot of work to design stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of skills that I don't have. So it's like, I don't know. Solar freaking roadways. Ah, so could you make a PowerWall big enough to actually use it as a wall? Oh, that's interesting. You're saying, are you asking as a load bearing wall? Uh, yeah, you could. I mean, those ones that Tesla made, the ones that are on my bus, they're pretty tough and beefy battery packs. So what they do is they get, you know, the regular plastic little holders, right? These are not the regular ones, but they're similar, but they're like made in long, you know, in long pieces, you know, plastic pieces, and they're tough. So they're pretty structurally strong. And then what they did was they would epoxy the cells into them. So they were glued, and so it was like a truss. And it was super tough. I mean, if you saw one of those early videos that we made where we were trying to figure it out, see if we can take them apart or whatever, we were taking those things like 30 feet up from a lift, and then throwing them out and stuff, and nothing would happen to them. So yeah, you could totally build a thing like that, put cells in there, put the two holders on side, glue them all in there, and that thing would hold weight. It's batteries are super dense, right? And so you know, they're structurally pretty strong. Although I don't know, do you want to put weights or weight on or stress on a battery, something that holds that kind of energy, that much energy, right? Because it's a lot of energy per unit of volume, I think, on when it comes to batteries, especially lithium batteries, right? So yeah, that's I don't know, but you could do it totally. Have you ever considered making a double-sided 48-volt DIY PowerWall pack PCB? No. Uh, and the reason why I haven't thought about doing that is because, well, you could do that with the current board that I'm doing. You could set up two towers or two packs of 24 volts, and then you could just connect them in parallel or in series, and then you have your 48 volt, right? So currently you could do that with a smaller board that you can fit. So it's a much more versatile board, right, that I have right now. You can use it on smaller boxes, you can use it on bigger boxes by using two, you can use it as 24, you can use it as 48. And so making another one that is just 48, I'm just like going backwards. It's like it's something that is less versatile for me, you know. It would still take the time to design it. It would still take the time to test it. It would still take the time to send it out to be manufactured. And for me, it would mean another part that I would have on my shelves to try to sell or whatever. And so, you know, then that's, to me, that's just a lot of waste, you know. I know that, you know, for someone else, I think it would make sense. But for me, it doesn't make sense to do that, because then why would I want to make two different boards when I can make one that can serve both of those, right? It just kind of makes more sense. Whoa. How many 18650s have passed through your hands? I don't know. Not that many, actually. I think I have... well, I had the 2000 right here that I decided to sell because I'm not going to use them. And then... oh, and then we have the Revolt, which were about, I don't know, probably like 40,000 cells that we... By the way, I still have 1,000 of those cells. And I was thinking of putting them for sale too, because I don't need them, but I wanted to use them, especially now that I know that on a PowerWall setting, those cells are, they will give you like 1,000 cycles. So... and then there are these ones that are, I don't know, like 1,700 or almost 2,000 of them. What is that? I don't know. Oh, and then we had the 20,000 that I bought originally, the LG HG2s, right? Oh my God, yeah. So then, and then there are all the, yeah, I don't know, probably, I don't know, like 100,000 cells or something like that. Yeah, it's quite a bit of cells. Let's see. There we go. David Skywalker. Jay, do you have any questions for me? I don't know. Should I have some questions for you, David? Where is Waldo? If you install an AC in your Samba, what mileage will it give? Yeah, I don't know. I think it uses... I mean, in a car, is I guess not that bad because it's a small chamber that you have to cool. It's not like this giant house or whatever. But I think, yeah, I think it... So I think you can kind of be somewhat efficient. Oh, by the way, this is the dog. He's... Hey. No French kissing. People are watching right now. Don't. Let's see. What are we talking about here? Is your shirt for sale? Yes, it is for sale. You can go to, I don't know, in the video here, there's a thing where you can buy shirts and stuff. And no one's bought a shirt in a very long time. So it doesn't work. I don't know if it works. I think it is. I think it does work, but some people bought some. This is Rocket and the other two guys, Bruce and then Wayne. This is Wayne over here. Yeah, and they usually want to play it right at the time that I go live here. Okay. I need a PowerWall to run medical equipment in case of a blackout. Problem is, most of my gear uses 12-volt auxiliary. Would it be better to make something at 12 volts or higher than DC to DC converted? So you can make 12 volts if you use lithium iron phosphate, right? So the only problem with lithium iron phosphate is that it's a bit more scarce and it's a bit more expensive than, you can find a lot of good deals on lithium coal oxide based chemistries. But the problem with that is that you can't make 12 volts, or at least not automotive 12 volts. So if you can work with like 16 to what is it, 11 or something? Yeah, no, 16 to 10 or 9. Yeah, if your equipment could work at 16 to 9, then you could totally do like 4S, 3S or 4S. Then yeah, you could make it like that and then work it. You could also do higher voltage and then just DC to DC down. I wouldn't recommend that if your loads are big. If you're talking about anything, above 1,000 watts or something, then the DC to DC gets big and heavy and expensive, right? And so you don't want to waste that much because it's just a much better way to just get a battery that it matches your load much closer, right? And it becomes a simpler system and it becomes much more bulletproof because then there's less parts, less things to break. So yeah, you can. It just depends on your equipment, if what kind of 12 volts really it uses. Is it possible to put inverters in parallel? It is possible, but they have to be the right kind of inverters. Like, for example, you could have an off-grid inverter and then parallel a grid-tie inverter, right? So then, in essence, it becomes a microgrid. But you can't use regular inverters unless they have the ability to sync up to each other. And there are some inverters that will do that, but they're not popular. They don't seem to be abundant or whatever. They're kind of like specialized and stuff. So you're those Batman fans. Yes, they are. Are there any inspections a homemade electric vehicle has to go through before being street legal? Not really. Not in California. California doesn't really care. As long as, yeah, they don't care. We've never, which is weird. You should. There's a lot of places that have really restrictive inspection process, right? I mean, if your wipers don't work, then you can't get your car registered Here it doesn't seem to. Yeah, they don't. Doesn't matter. They're just like if it rolls, it rolls. If it doesn't roll, it doesn't matter. You can still register it. Do you think 18650 cells should be used more in consumer electronics, or is the danger when batteries fail too much? No. Well, the thing is that lithium batteries they're very fragile. Which means you can't over discharge them. If you over discharge them, you kill them, and they die instantly, and then they become a hazards. Because then if you try to charge them again, then you know they don't, and they heat up, and then the next thing you know, you have a fire, or your equipment burns up. It's made out of plastic, or so all that stuff. So in order to alleviate that, then you'd have to do what the laptop industry did, right, and the power tool path industry does, which is you have to encase them in a battery pack that now has a little BMS and a smart switch that turns it off if any of the things happen. So yeah, I mean, I think they are the world's most used batteries now. So it just doesn't seem like it because they're usually inside of a package, right? But they are. I mean, they're in our homes. Everything has a lithium battery, right? Here's the most popular one in the world. There's billions of these. There's more of these batteries and devices than humans alive today. So it's crazy. I want a 60 volt 80 amp charger to fast charge my electric skateboard build. Any ideas? Yeah, look at the thing. I have a video that talks about a small DC to DC. Oh, these guys right here. These guys will do all the way to 60. I think these guys will do all the way to 60 amps. No, more than that, 90 amps. I think these go all the way to 90 amps. And you can use them as chargers because they have the CC and CV two-stage thing, right? And they will do 30 amps. I think there's some that will do up to 40 amps, but I've been testing them, and they usually fail. There's a high rate of failure on these guys when you're pushing them hard, and I think it's because of the cooling. This is just not enough cooling right here, right? So if you design a better cooling system, I think you could probably push those really, really hard, or closer to their limits or whatever. What was your first battery build failure that scared the hell out of you? I haven't had one, really. Let's see. What was it? No, I haven't had a battery just catch fire and spew out flames and stuff. I haven't. I've been lucky, I guess, or I've been careful. I think it's a combination of both. Right? I haven't really done stupid stuff with batteries. I mean, in the eyes of some people I have, but in my eyes, I've always played it safe, and I always notice that I am really careful. It always takes me a long time when I'm working on batteries, and I'm like finally connecting because remember, my first battery projects were big battery. I mean, I was talking 10 kilowatt hours, then 20 kilowatt hours, and then 50 kilowatt hours. That's my bus. So I didn't start with like tiny little batteries here and there. It's like big giant batteries, at over 100 volts, right? So, so it requires a certain amount of respect going in. You're like, look, this stuff could kill you. This stuff could melt. If you short this thing out here, this tool, this wrench or whatever, is gonna disintegrate in your hand. It's gonna glow red, and then it's gonna just burn your hand, burn everything. It's gonna melt all the cables. So going in, I'm like, all right, this stuff is serious here. And I think that was probably helpful for me because then I kind of developed that respect for the batteries. And I'm like, okay, these batteries, you need to take care of them. You can't be crazy. You can't just overcharge them or over discharge them. And I killed quite a bit of batteries, but never, in a dangerous way, I don't think. Always at the bottom, never at the top. Because at the top is where the danger is at. That's when fire happens. At the bottom, they just died. You can never wake them up again, and then they're done, right? So yeah, I think that's probably why I'm not afraid of batteries. It's just they've never turned on me, which is crazy. Okay. Okay, someone asked earlier, and I read it. Why don't they make a lot of 36-volt inverter options? This is not the question, but it's related. So, I think they don't make inverters 36 because it's a weird voltage. So, think about this. The car industry, with billions of cars around the world, uses a lead-acid 12-volt standard, right? So, those are by far the most popular inverters, because then you can use them in your car. You can use them in your RV. Then the next one is the 24 volt, because 24 volts are used in the bigger cars, the big RVs, the big semi trucks. Those use the next voltage up, which is two cells or two batteries, 12 volt batteries in series. So then on the boats, I think a lot of boats use that, and so then that's why there's quite a bit of 24 volt inverters. But no one really is using 36. It's like a weird voltage in there. Then the next thing, it's like if you want to power a big house, anything above 5, or 6 kilowatt hour or kilowatts, then you just jump all the way to 48 volts. And that, I think, was the standard for a very long time. And so even today, so there's the 36 in there. It's just in between. It's just, it's just missed. For some reason, the small mobility industry has picked 36 as their standard, right? And that's why we're getting all these packs that are 36, including this thing. They do, like you say, they don't make quite a bit, but if you look, you can find little things here and there. I was able to find a 1.2 kilowatt backup UPS unit that I took apart, and I rehoused it into this box over here. And then I put, like 10 of those hoverboard battery packs on there. And then I used to have a bunch of them outside. And then those were, that was my backup battery for a long time. It still is. If the power goes out right now, that thing, like these lights, everything stays on here because that's my backup there. And then outside, I have the solar system, which is grid type. So then that doesn't, this gets powered by using the AC side, only when it needs it. But it never needs it because I never deplete those, only when the power goes out. So that's why there's no 36 volt inverters. Or there's a shortage, or they're only small for some reason. But it would make sense to learn to use those batteries. If it's not 36, maybe at 72, because now there are quite a bit of equipment that is starting to come up at the higher voltages, right? 72 volts, 96 volts, it's a common voltage, especially when it comes to the DIY car industry. So you can go to like Amazon right now, for example, and type in 96 volt inverters, and they're there. And so those are going to be the cool ones. Those are going to be the ones that we're going to be able to use maybe now with the Tesla batteries that are coming out. Although Elon just kind of talked about the fact that they might not make the batteries with modules anymore. It's going to be one module. So it's going to be a 400 volt pack that is going to be hard to probably take apart. And so if that happens, it's just going to complicate things. Now we're going to have to do 400 volt inverters, which they exist on the solar side, on the solar inverter side, right? But they're not made to use with. I think there's some, right? It's not that hard to just make a custom made inverter, with the weird voltage or whatever. It's just the industry has to adopt it, and it has to make it so that they're available everywhere. Nathaniel Vell says you should make more DIY power pack builds, the ones in those hard plastic Pelican cases with chargers and BMS and inverter built in. Love those videos. Yeah, I want to make more of those. I think, yeah, I have a couple of them coming up this year. I look, as you can see, I don't know, you can't see there, but I have every size of those Pelican cases. I was like, I need to know what's available out there and how much it costs, right? Because when I'm designing a system, sometimes I get criticized like, oh, why are you picking that one thing? It costs so much. It kind of puts it over the threshold if it's worth it or not to do it, And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I didn't pay attention to that one thing. So when you're doing that, you gotta also make sure that you're not just picking that one case because it fits your batteries, but it's like 3 times more expensive than another case that's slightly smaller or bigger, you know what I mean? So it just takes it's quite a bit of time it takes to build something like that, especially when it's not just gonna be for me, right? If I'm gonna build something that, because you guys do go and build them, like that other one that I did, probably 1,000 of those were built because of that one video. And so puts quite a bit of pressure on me to get it right and to do it correctly so that I don't have 1,000 people coming at me going, hey, the thing that you did doesn't work, so I got to do it right. But yeah, I have a few more coming up this year. Definitely. 8:22. All right. Let's get out of here. My voice is kind of going. Let's give away this battery thing. I was going to give it to someone that asked the most interesting question, but that's going to be hard. How do I judge the most interesting question? I mean, I guess I could just do it. I could just be like, this is the question that wins. But I don't even remember. See, probably for that I'll need some help later on when I'm working with my podcast team that I'm going to put together. For right now, I guess I'm just going to have to do it randomly. Because I don't know how many of you guys asked the question, which one was the most. Will it be possible to build an electronic accessible van for people with wheelchair because of the wheelchair weight, ramp, and lower floor? Yeah, you could do it. No problem. It's just gonna cost more. I think those cars are kind of expensive already, right? Because of all the extra work that has to go into them, and they're kind of heavy because of all the extra metal and equipment that it requires to do, and it's got to be tough and big. But yeah, no doubt that it could be done. It's just gonna be really expensive. It's gonna be twice as expensive as the regular one. So yeah, you probably won't see it or see too many of them because of that. They might just be kind of prohibitively expensive. Let's see here. Oh my God, the things are starting to go. Okay, let's do it. Post your question, and then I'll pick randomly from here on. Let's see. You should make some of those DIY power pack builds and then give them away to someone in need. I actually did that. So I know people are hounding me about that last one that I built. And the thing is, I don't have it anymore. I gave it away. I'm like, here you go. I'll build another one when I get to it or whatever. I gave it to someone in need. Someone needed because they were having too many power outs and stuff. And I'm like, here you go. Use that thing. But I do want to get into a habit of just giving away all these projects because, again, I don't want my room to just be packed of these projects, I mean, it took me a lot of work to get some of these done, but once I'm done, I'm like, I have no use for them. I'm like, I want the space and I want the room and I want the ability to work on the next one, right? So, yeah, I think I'm going to do that from now on is give it away on the actual video. Like, you can win it here or whatever. Coffee Newton Couples Production says, in lithium mining countries like Bolivia and Zimbabwe, can these PowerWalls be easily produced? Yeah, probably. It's just I don't think it's that hard to make batteries. You just need someone that knows what they're doing and some equipment, right? So I just don't know if in those countries there is industry that's already set up to make lithium batteries. So someone just would have to, you know, invest some money and get some people with know-how and some equipment in there from China and start making batteries. But yeah, if you're close to the raw materials, although yeah, I mean, so you still need quite a bit of other material, right? Like lithium is really not the main material in lithium batteries. They're called lithium batteries, but it's a minuscule amount of lithium that's in a battery, and it's a lithium salt, right? They're mostly graphite, and they're mostly copper, and they're mostly aluminum, and a tiny bit of rare earth metals like cobalt or zinc or manganese and all that stuff, right? So yeah, if you have a ton of aluminum and copper, then you're in a good place to make batteries. The lithium that can be mined, I think, in everywhere. I don't think that's really hard to get, as most people think. Yeah, cobalt is definitely the most expensive one, and that is the one that we're trying to. Everybody's trying to get it out because again, it's mined in a lot of places in the world that they're not the best. They don't treat their miners the best, and it's really expensive. You don't want to build something that's expensive. It's the same thing that I don't want to use expensive things on my projects. Elon's doing the same thing. He's trying to eliminate the most expensive component of his batteries. What 24 volt 2000 watt inverter actually is good for 2000? Ooh, I have an answer for that. I have one power inverter that I won't recommend, and it's a Chinese one. But I'm like, I was gonna make a really mean video because they didn't want to help me out. But I'm like, come on, maybe. Why waste my time? But it was gonna be a really simple video where I would like get it, and I was all excited to like test it, and it's this big 5,000 watt inverter, 48 volts, right? I'm like, yeah, this is the thing right here. And then when I first plugged it in. As soon as I took it off the box, I plugged it into the battery and it just sparked and something blew inside. Just bam, so I was gonna have to recreate that because now if you connect it to a battery, it doesn't spark anymore. But I'm like, okay, I think if I do it, with movie magic, it's okay because it actually happened, And then the next scene, I'm gonna be grabbing this thing and then going to my trash can, my dumpster, just throwing it in there. So I was gonna make that video because I was angry at them that they didn't want to honor anything. It's like it was dumb. So I'm like, whatever. I still have it there, and but anyways, all these ones that I have here on this thing are good. I own them, all of those in there, and I've tested most of them, and they work. I haven't had any failures with any of those. Although I don't use a lot of them, quite extensively, but, All right, 8:30. Let's do it. Let's pick a winner. Hopefully, whoever I pick can use a 36 volt PowerWall. It's like the one picture in there, the one that is pictured in the thing. It's the one that I have installed out here to run my AC. I have made another one, and I was going to put it next to it to extend the capacity of it, and then I just gave up. I'm like, I in fact don't want to go and take that off the wall over there because that experiment ran its course, and whatever. Now I have plans to put another one up, right? But this one right here, I started making it and it's done. I just never went and put it up in the in the wall outside, so I might as well get it out of here. It's clogging up my room here. It's gonna suck because it's gonna cost a lot of money to ship it. Whoever wins it better be in the U.S. Okay, if not, I'm gonna have to ask you for money to ship it. It's probably gonna cost a ton of money. It's not that heavy. It's not that big of a PowerWall. I don't remember how many kilowatt hours it is, but it's not like a massive one. I'm not giving away like a 10 kilowatt hour or something. You know, it's more like probably like 2 or 3 or something, 3.5 or something. Okay, who's sending me messages? Is that any of you? Oh, yes, you guys are. Oh, no, you guys are commenting. Okay. So, let's pick here. Okay, so one thing that you guys need to know is that it doesn't let me go in this comment little thing all the way back far, right? So when I go like, oh, I'm going to pick it like random, I think it's, look, the last one, it's Kelsey Stoddard, and he said, hi, will you just pick me to win? Do you think it's possible to liquid cool a battery? You're still in the electrolyte, Nathan Clinic. So I don't know when you guys posted those comments, but I have a feeling that that's not at the beginning of this live stream. This is probably like 3 minutes ago, right? So even though I say it's completely random here, it's completely random from where the comments that I can see here. So it might just be from like the last 3 minutes or X amount of minutes. I don't know. So let's pick a winner here. Random. Whoa, there we go here. So this is the winner here. K. Wilson. What? Oh, no. K. Wilson. What bike, e-bike motors do you recommend? Bam. There you go. That's the winner. That's who wins it. I also have some more of the 36 volt batteries from the other day. So I'm going to pick a couple more winners. Right? So come on. There we go. Anthony Amos. He asked, why don't they make more 36 inverters options? This is so relevant to the stream. Oh, there you go. See? Wow, that's the same question, but maybe not the exact same question that I answered. Like, maybe it was you, but you changed it? Okay, one more. Let's pick one more. All right, here we go. This one. Who was that one? Oh, Juanita Borges? Why not pick me? There you go. I just picked you. Those are the 3 winners tonight. Send me an email, jhudjack35, with your screen name and your address, and then I'll send you some batteries. I'll send you, yeah. There we go. There's my email. Just copy that and then do the thing, and that's it. We'll hopefully it'll find a good home so that you guys can use that PowerWall to power something. Those batteries are powerful, so it can power like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5C. So if it's like 2 kilowatt hours or something, 3 kilowatt hours, then yeah, you multiply that by 4 or something, and so it can power some really powerful. Although, yeah, the weak link might be my PCB boards there. I think they can only handle like 80 amps. So what's 80 amps at 80 amps at 36 volts? What is that? Yeah, that's 2.8 kilowatts times 2, because it's got 2 of them. It's got one on each side. yeah, so it could almost do like 6 kilowatt, right? Of course, it won't do that for very long, but it could. Yeah, you can power a load briefly, you know, for six kilowatt. How do I see your email on my inbox? No, email me, jehu@jag35. Just open up your email program and then email me, jehu@jag35. There you go. .com. That's my email. Send it to that email right there, and then yeah, send me your address so that I can know who you are and where you live, and then we'll send it right there. Oh, Charlie Mike says, how's your solar rollout panels working after a year? They're working amazing. I just went today. Today has been super gloomy. There's a ton of like clouds. The sun came out for like, I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes or something. I don't know. And I went out there, even though it was cloudy, and I could hear the inverter when I was walking through it, and I'm like, you know, the fan is on and stuff. So I'm like, what's going on here? So then I went to open it, and yeah, it was producing like 500 watts. And yeah, so it's about a 1 kilowatt, I think. I think I have about like 1 kilowatt worth of panels up there. So it's producing half of that on a really cloudy day, right? So I'm like, oh my God. And I didn't actually look at the counter. I have a kilowatt hour counter, but I think it's near like 2 megawatts now that they produce in this whatever year and a half or almost 2 years that they've been up there. So no complaints whatsoever. It seems to be, the system seems to be working now much better with the single inverter as opposed to the 2 inverters that I had before for some reason. The other ones were always trying to fight with each other and stuff. I would hear the fans going off and higher and lower and stuff. This one's, it's just a single one that puts out 220 volts. And so they spit that out much more evenly in this, on the split phase service that we have here in the United States, right? So definitely they're working. I'm like, pretty solid little system. I mean, it's super cheap, right? I think the inverter's like $130 or something, and then the panels, yeah, they were about $1,000 now because I have more than 10. I have 10 of them up there, so it's probably more like $1,300, I think, worth in panels, and then $100 in that thing, and a couple $100 in the other, like the little box and the thing and the cable. Yeah, it's pretty good. I recommend it. It's paid for itself now, and it's probably made me money now. Yeah, probably nearing like $500 or $600 this year or something that it probably made me. So no complaints there. All right, thank you for joining me tonight. Let's get out of here. Let's go watch some TV or something. I gotta kind of finish my video, but yeah, I think I'll watch some TV for a little while. Stay busy, stay inside, and yeah, keep building those batteries, I guess. Right? You gotta get ready just in case it gets worse. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. I will definitely let you guys know when I'm gonna upload that other video, because that's a good one. I want you guys to be sure to be there to see it, because that's a big giveaway, and you know, it's gonna be good. That's a whole system. It kind of works. It even comes with the solar panels, and once you see it working and performing here, you're gonna be like, oh, that's a really cool system. So there we go. See you guys on the next one. Have a good night. Bye. It's raining again in California. Did that just miss the truck?
Yeah. By about this much.
Yep, that just came down. want to see what 10 kilowatts looks like on a meter. This is a pretty legit charging station.
Yeah, BTC power, thanks.
As you know, EV West is not the only place turning old gas guzzlers into, you know, ultra-modern electric clean vehicles. There are other people doing the same thing all over the world, such as the case as Conrad and Andrew, all the way down in Australia. These guys are converting cars and they have a bunch of cool projects. VW Bugs. The car that I used to drive. What are you guys doing over there? Okay, today's vlog is going to be educational and it's gonna be fun for all the VW fans. All right, as you guys know, I drive the Samba everywhere and I use these windows. They're called Safari windows. Today I'm gonna help Danny install her windows on her bus. First things first, we gotta remove those. Okay, so here are the... She wants to be cool like me, so, you know, obviously she... Oh, look at all that rust just in that time. Okay, so this is what you have to do to prepare their surface, the rust surface area. POR 15, POR 15, and this is what to paint over rust. And to prepare the surface, of course, you have to use like some chemicals in there. We got the first coat right here. More battery heaven. These are the, so you know which ones are, right? The VTC 6s, the Sony ones, they're 30 amp continuous.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Brand new.
Beautiful. No way. Those are so fancy and nice. Yeah, let me look at that one.
Yeah, watch out. Don't, if you short that as 30 amps. Like,
yeah.
I know, they're like 50, 60 amps.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
This little thing is just, look how tiny that is.
Yeah, they're super scary when you're handling them, because like.
So yeah, this back so that you can short it with that, right?
Well, right here, this is positive. Negative. This is positive right here.
Oh, it's on the top. Oh,
Yeah.
It's right there. Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah. So if you like, so when you're like changing them, if you put it on top of the other one, then that one will short out and like.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, and they're raw, right? So they're kind of.
I want to see how they like range these in the battery pack, because you could have small form factor with this.
Yeah. So they actually are doing positive and negative on the same side.
You have those little pucks. So then after you take off all the screws,
We got the fun part.
you got the
Grab
fun
the
part,
chisel.
and you gotta pry it out. Oh, there.
Air bubble.
There's a moment of truth.
PowerWall.